Tonight, who's on first? Dodos are on second, and Trump is on third base again because, you know, when you're a star, they just let you do it, right? And tonight, robots, salmon, and COVID-19. But what makes me thread up the most? Stay tuned and find out, biatch. And speaking of, we follow that by interviewing the narrator for a new audiobook about the old Andrew Scheer. You probably clicked this thinking you found a bear crapping in the woods, but instead, you've landed on the Cold Bear Report. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Cold Bear Report. I'm your host, the free-ring master of mayhem, DUZA BEAR. Now, nation, I know what you're thinking. You're probably asking, what can you expect of all this? Well, so am I. Seriously, though, I fired the writing staff this morning, and I'm just winging this. But that means we'll both be finding out what's the point of this show as we go. Exciting, huh? So, let's go already! Roll it, Jimmy! Wow. Okay, that was something. Did we pay for that? Before, no? Huh? Ooh. Huh. Okay. Well, he was delicious, so, yeah, moving on. Nation, welcome to the report, and I do mean report with a hard T on the end because, like my reporting and devilish good looks, this bear means business. Seriously, I've been sitting on the sidelines of various back roads for years while a plethora of egomaniacs blathered on about complete jibber-jabber, and I'm talking really stupid stuff, such as combing the floor of the forest to avoid fires and whatnot. And like many of you, I've had enough of poo-flinging orangutans offering nonsense even a lizard insurance commercial would reject for being too stupid. So, with a little duct tape, some curtains I found in a dumpster, this hunk of wood, a pen, and the smartphone some idiot dropped when I charged at him, I've decided to put together this show. Now, don't get me wrong, I couldn't do all this by myself, obviously. I needed the squirrels to figure out how to upload all this to YouTube, and upload it they did, and now, here we are. So let's get to it with the first of my repeating segments, Bird. Why bird, you ask? Well, my lawyer said calling it word was a trademark violation. And tonight's bird is the dodo. As in, what sort of dodo would ignore the World Health Organization? The WHO is the world's first line of defense against pandemics. In fact, it's the only international early warning system for infectious disease. Ignoring the WHO because you don't like the result is like ignoring a fire in your house. And cutting funding for the WHO during a pandemic is like not paying your car insurance during winter. Look, blaming the WHO for not getting your attention early enough is like blaming the fire department because they didn't stop you from deep frying that turducken disaster after you watched the video on the internet. And morons elevating a Google search over the scientific genius of a worldwide medical network deserve to be locked in a stadium with all the other idiots until they've proven correct every theory Darwin had. So if at least 50% of your cases haven't recovered in your area, then it's too soon to open. And if the WHO says you wear a mask, put a damn mask on. Also, if the WHO says wash your hands for 20 seconds, start counting. And if the WHO says stay 6 feet apart, then do it. And stop being dodos unless you want to end up just like them. And that's tonight's bird. You know, nation, all kidding aside, there are things outside your control you shouldn't be worried about. For example, if you've ever asked yourself, does a bear crap in the woods? The answer is no. I use a flush toilet because I'm not a barbarian. But there are many items that you should be worried about. And frankly, they're things that scare the crap out of me. And being an intelligent, semi-urban carnivore, my favorite coping mechanism for that stuff are lists. But because of my high-meat diet, I don't have threat downs. No, sir, my anxieties always bring up the bile in my mouth, making them sort of a threat up, if you will. So it's time to update the list of things that make me threat up. Jimmy? At the bottom of the list are robots. Because if you think they're taking your jobs, you should see what they're doing to my forests. Then there's salmon. I know you see bears eating salmon all the time. What you don't see are the runs we get for days afterwards. Trust me. Then we've got COVID-19. I know you think this is only a human problem, but dogs and cats around the world are getting this thing too, and a tiger died from it. And since the song is lions and tigers and bears, well, you're on the list, COVID. I mean, last month I couldn't taste honey for a week, and that's a fate worse than death to a bear, let me tell you. Then there's Starbucks. And you damn well know why. And finally, at the top of the list is TV personality Stephen Colbert. Look, aside from malappropriating both my favorite weather status and my species with his Frenchy-sounding surname, Steve-O put me on his threat down list. Well, buddy, bit for tat, that's what I say. Suck it, Colbert! Nation, you might know tonight's guest from the long-running kids program, The Friendly Giant. I wouldn't, that was before my time. But where I do know him from is the recently released audiobook for the hit political satire, SCHEER FACTOR. Here's a clip.
Andy was now worried they might never hear from Doug Ford again. That would be a shame. Doug was on his side, even if he was costing Andy most of Ontario right now. Cheney turned to Doug Ford.
Hey, Zippy.
He barked.
You know what happens if we kill you and dump your body in the Potomac? You'll go to prison for murder!
Doug spewed back. Cheney shook his head slowly.
Not a damn thing happens. You know why? That suck puppet in the Oval Office gives me a pardon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rusty the Rooster! Get him away, get him away. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's great to be out.
Out?
Well, I spent the last 20 years in a bag on the wall of Friendly's castle, so, out is good.
Well, it's great seeing you.
You too, DUZA. How's Elsie?
Yeah, we don't talk,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So listen, about the audiobook, I think when most people think of Andrew Scheer, your voice is not the first dozen to come to mind.
I know, but Howdy Doody was busy. Ha, 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 ha. I came in for the reading, thinking there wasn't much to it. Generally, the only time I get hired is when someone needs a sick-sounding Mickey Mouse.
That's where I know that from.
But, for some reason, the producers thought I made the material even funnier sounding, so, you know.
And you read the entire book?
Well, except for the Dick Cheney and Doug Ford parts, they hired a real method actor for those.
Really?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, at least I think so. I hate to think I was in the same room as the real things, especially after what I learned doing this book.
So where can people get this, the audiobook to SCHEER FACTOR, that is?
Well, we're releasing new chapters every week on the Titan Rainbow site. I don't have the exact address.
We'll put that up. Jimmy, put that up. Okay. Well, it's great meeting you. Thanks for coming.
That's it?
Sorry, we're just a web series, and the squirrels lose focus quickly.
I got my feathers preened for this.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, so Nation, be sure to check out SCHEER FACTOR, available in print or as a free ebook at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, even the Apple Store, and the chapter-by-chapter audiobook as read by a guy doing an impression of Rusty the Rooster from The Friendly Giant.
I'm still right here, eh?
At the web address listed somewhere, we'll be right back.
Dude, that is not cool. That is totally not cool.
That's DUZA.
No, I'm serious. You're going to be hearing from my lawyer about this.
You can go now.
Yeah, I'll go, all right.
Are you still here?
Oh, yeah, you're going to be hearing from my lawyer big time, Bear. I've had it with you already. That's the last time I do one of these shows.
Okay. Commercial, right?
Don't forget to check out DUZA's YouTube channel. Yeah, that's right. Just search for DUZA BEAR.
Ha ha! Suck it, Colbert! Hey there. So, seeing as you're watching anyway, why don't you subscribe? There should be a button around here somewhere. Is that it? No.